I'm impulsive. You know, I do things right on the spur of the moment. Sometimes I don't even really know why. It's, you know, and I look back and I'm like, why did I even do that? You know, wasn't I thinking, you know, clearly? You know, I think I'm a pretty bright person too. It's, you know, I must fake it pretty good because not very many people say, you know what I mean, what's wrong with him and stuff like that. I mean, there's a few maybe, you know, behind my back probably. But I was down the seacoast and, you know, and I was heading up north and I'm driving along, you know, and I just went to a wedding or something, a funeral or something, I can't even remember. And, you know, I'm kind of dressed up with dress shoes and stuff. And, you know, I'm thinking, you know, in my mind at the time, I kind of remember thinking, I got to get right home. I got a lot to do, this and that. And I was listing things in my head. And so I'm on this, you know, this road, you know, there's no houses and stuff. And I see a sign, and it says, you know, there's a mountain to climb there. You know, there's one of these little brown, you know, signs, and it says, you know, Mount so-and-so, I don't remember the name, and, you know, so many feet, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I'm like, geez, you know, this tiny parking area, and I pull over, and I'm like, geez, you know, I think I'd like to climb a mountain. I have never done that before. And, I mean, which just seems sensible to me because, you know, I've never climbed a mountain, and it's like, you know, and there it is right there, you know, and it's like, you know, and I have the time now. For some reason, I don't know why I had the time. I didn't have it 5 minutes ago, but I have the time. And so you know, I get out and you know, I start climbing the mountain. You know, it's like 5 in the afternoon. It's in the fall. You know, it's a little chilly. You know, I just figure I'll just run up the mountain and take a look and, you know, say, you know, get back home, tell everyone I climbed the mountain, and, you know, and I'm gonna look good, and I'll tell everybody that I'm a mountain climber and this and that. You know, this all just came in my head, like, you know, the minute I saw that sign, it's like I have this whole story, this whole scenario of me climbing a mountain, and, you know what I mean, standing at the top, you know, maybe I have this stick in my hand and stuff like this, you know, and I'll take a picture of myself with a cell phone, and, you know what I mean, and you know, I just, you know, I don't know what I'm thinking. It's like, you know, I learned now that, you know, after the rescue, that, you know, that you don't just climb a mountain, you know, with your dress shoes on, and, you know, without a coat and, you know, water and, you know, a jacket and rain gear, you know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I forgot my cell phone in the car too, and, you know, so. You know, luckily I passed this guy, you know, and you know, I started off and I'm heading up there, and, you know, it's getting a little dusk, but I figure I must be close to the top. It only said it was 4,000 feet, so it's like, you know, I mean, I'm counting the steps, and I'm thinking I'm doing like 5 feet every step, so it's, you know, it shouldn't take me more than 25 minutes, you know, to my calculations. And, you know, and you know, there's this guy coming down, and, you know, he's a big guy, and he's got all this gear on. He looked really funny to me. I never saw anybody like that before. He's got all this huge backpack. His thing was huge, and these fancy boots, and, you know what I mean, these sticks, and, you know, and all this stuff. He's got all over himself, like kind of like an army man. And you know, and he tells me, he says, oh, you can't go up there now. and I'm like, what? You know, I'm climbing this mountain. Excuse me, you know what I mean? Can you move out of my way? I mean, this is a free country. You know, if I want to climb a mountain, I will. You know, what business is of yours? You know, and you know, he starts to tell me he's some kind of big hiker. You know what I mean? And you know, I didn't even know that you can actually like hike across the country. And he's on some long trail or something like that. But, you know, I don't know. He's been on it for days. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of crazy person would, you know, spend the night out in the woods, you know, in the woods. I mean, you know, there might be animals out there or something. I would never mind go across the country. I mean, geez, who's got time for that? You have to work. You know what I mean? You don't have time for that. These people must be lazy or something. They have nothing better to do. And, you know, so he's trying to tell me that, you know, it's late, this and that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? In one ear and out the other. Because I don't care what people say. I don't care what he says. You know, he's not an expert. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, he had this little thing that said Ranger on this little, but you know what I mean? I didn't know, you know, now I know that it's like, he's like a cop in the mountains, I guess, a ranger kind of. I didn't think of it that way. I was thinking like the Lone Ranger, you know what I mean? He was hiking alone and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I didn't put one and one together, you know what I mean? And so I didn't really know. So I told them to fuck off, and and I kept going. You know what I mean? I went quite a ways further. I was going really fast, and I wasn't looking where I was going. And I don't know if I got off the trail because it got so dark I couldn't see, and it was getting cold, and I was thirsty, and I reached for my cell phone, and I couldn't find it. I was gonna, I was gonna use the light on it, and, you know what I mean, and finish my trip up to the top. I was bound and determined I must be almost there, you know what I mean? And they must have some kind of lights at the top. I mean, Jesus, it's a mountain, you know what I mean? You climb the mountain, there must be some, like a hut at the top or something, with lights, and, you know what I mean? They probably have like a refreshment stand and stuff, you know what I mean? I figure I'll get some hot coffee and then head back down, you know what I mean? And then I realized I was lost, and I didn't know what to do, and I got kind of scared. I heard noises, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not from the country. I'm a city boy. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about the country. You know what I mean? Animals and stuff like this, and I sat there for an hour. I didn't dare move because I was afraid, and I picked up a stick, and I was ready to defend myself, against any kind of bear, or you know what I mean, or snake or something that comes, slithering around at me. You know what I mean? And while I'm sitting there, I see some lights coming up, up the mountain, and I'm watching, and there's about 25 guys there, and they all have lights and stuff like that, and I'm like, Jesus, who the hell are they? They must be going, to a party at the top. I'm thinking, this is cool. I'll just go up with them. You know what I mean? I think, this is great. You know what I mean? I'm pretty good with people. I probably could make friends with them, and we could go to the top, and you know what I mean, have a little party, and you know what I mean. It could be fun. You know what I mean? And take snap some pictures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I show the kids. But as they got closer, I saw that big guy. That ranger man, and the Lone Ranger, and he was with a bunch of other people that looked like him, and I guess they were looking for me, and I guess this Lone Ranger man, he knew that, I don't know how he knew. I mean, maybe it's his job. I'm not sure. I still haven't figured it out yet, but they told me I had to come with them. You know what I mean? I objected, but I went with them, and we went back down, and I went home and stuff. I didn't tell anybody. I was a little bit embarrassed, to tell you the truth, and I don't think I'm going to go mountain climbing again. And they had the nerve to send me a bill, and I paid it because I just maybe they need money, you know what I mean, to fix those trails up or whatever. And I'm not going mountain climbing again, not for a while.